Hi everybody. In this video, we're going to read the last chapter of The Power of Three. Chapter 15. Do you think everything will go back to normal now? Don asked hopefully. That was when Dialga and Palkia rose from where they had fallen. Wild and angry, they unleashed attack after attack, ripping holes in time and space. Never before had so much energy been concentrated in one place. The effects were felt all across Sinnoh. Professor Rowan and his researchers had been monitoring the rising levels. Now they stared at their screens in alarm. The energy output from Mount Coronet will surpass the critical point at any second now, the lead researcher reported. The energy that has surpassed the critical point is now rapidly inverting, Professor Rowan added. The entire Sinnoh region's energy is contracting toward Mount Coronet, the researcher said. If it continues at this rate, Sinnoh will cease to exist. Dialga and Palkia's attacks had created a giant vortex, a tear in the fabric of space. It was too much energy for the universe to handle, and the tear was growing. Ash and his friends had to hold on tight so they didn't get sucked in. Is everyone alright? Cynthia asked. Yeah, they chorused. But if they didn't do something fast, they wouldn't be okay for long. I'm certain Dialga and Palkia haven't broken free yet, Cynthia said. But if we aren't able to save them very soon, I'm afraid that energy mass will expand and engulf all of Sinnoh. The Lake Trio's eyes began to glow. They were trying to communicate again. Ash and his friends closed their eyes and concentrated. Combine your hearts as one, Dawn murmured, repeating what Mesprit told her. And please save Dialga and Palkia. Brock recited his message from Mesprit. Azelf told Ash the same thing. Let's go, Ash said. Okay, Azelf, do it. Azelf began to glow. Then, without hesitating, the legendary Pokemon launched itself at the energy vortex. There was an enormous explosion, and the vortex disappeared. Azelf, Ash cried as the Pokemon dropped weakly into his arms. Thank you. Dialga and Palkia were still thrashing wildly. Brock tried to soothe them. Dialga, Palkia, the one who was tormenting you is gone. Please calm down. But the Pokemon wouldn't, or couldn't, listen to him. You can do it, Brock promised Uxie, floated toward Dialga and Palkia, trying to get them to stop. But they were too angry, which meant it was up to Mesprit. It unleashed an attack that covered the Pokemon in a dim green glow. When it faded away, Dialga and Palkia were finally calm. The Lake Trio had done it. The three Pokemon flew round and round in a circle, creating a glowing ring of energy. Dialga and Palkia floated into its center and disappeared. Back in Professor Rowan's lab, the scientists celebrated. The contracting energy levels have completely ceased, one reported. Professor Rowan frowned. Sinnoh was safe, but what about his friends? Let's go. It's off to Mount Coronet. As Professor Rowan sped through the mountains, Ash, Brock, and Dawn were saying goodbye to the Lake Trio. It was time for the legendary Pokemon to return to their own dimension. So Azelf, Uxie, and Mesprit, why in the world did you choose us? Ash asked them. It certainly seems obvious to me, Cynthia said. Azelf, Uxie, and Mesprit could sense how much you care about Pokemon. Ash was overjoyed at the thought. You mean it? Really? The legendary Pokemon nodded. Then it was time for them to go. Ash, Brock, and Dawn waved goodbye to their new friends as the Lake Trio floated away, disappearing into the darkness. I wonder if we'll ever see them again, Ash said. But he would never forget them, especially Azelf. But he was glad the legendary Pokemon were going home. No doubt, Dawn said, confident. She still felt a connection to Mesprit, and she suspected she always would. Yeah, Brock said, knowing Uxie would always have a place in his heart. Soon, Gary Oak and Professor Rowan had arrived to check on their friends. Gary collected the precious stolen orbs, promising to get them back to Professor Carolina safe and sound. Ash, Dawn, Brock, and Cynthia rejoined Looker. He seemed concerned. Looker, what's wrong? Brock asked. I was just wondering where Team Rocket might have run off to, Looker said. He didn't have to wonder for long. Team Rocket hot air balloon was floating overhead. We beat Team Galactic at their own game, James shouted gleefully. Sure did, Jesse agreed. And now this old world is all ours. Once the boss gets wind of this, we'll get a windfall, y'all. Meowth crowd. James laughed. My kind of wind. Heave ho, Jesse cried. Let the wind blow. Team Rocket finishes win, place, and show, they shouted together. Then they floated off in search of trouble. Well, at least Team Galactic wouldn't be causing anyone trouble ever again. They were in the back of a police van, waiting to be taken away. What happened to Cyrus? Jupiter asked. He got away by himself, Saturn said. He did? Jupiter couldn't believe their leader had abandoned them. Which means it's the end for Team Galactic, Saturn admitted. Ash and his friends watched the police van drive away, proud that they had helped foil Team Galactic for good. Cynthia smiled warmly at them. Because there is sadness, we cherish happiness, she said. And because there is anger, kindness is born. Thank you all. Sinnoh is still here because you protected it. Wait, you mean us? Ash asked. Brock gaped at his friends. Did she just say we protected Sinnoh? If that's true, then it's because we had Piplup, Mesprit, and everyone else helping out. Isn't that right, Piplup? Said Dawn. The little water-type Pokemon agreed. Ash grinned at his friends and all their Pokemon. He was eager to set off in search of more adventures. Whatever they found, whatever challenges they faced, he was sure he and his friends would triumph. Because now he knew they could do anything as long as they had each other.